it's Annalise with Music Notes, and I'm back with the last card kit from my Christmas card series. So this is a really sweet Matchbox card. So it's perfect for putting a gift card inside. It's three-dimensional. It would be great to just put as a little tag on top of a present or just a separate thing to give to your friend. And it does come with these little cute gingerbread people inside. So we're gonna do some really simple coloring and some fun icing effect with some special products. And I'm gonna show you how to put this together. All my kits come with paper instructions that are printed out and has all the supplies needed, all the directions and dimensions to recreate this at home. And then of course, when you order the kit, you're gonna get a plastic bag with all the goodies. So let's take a look. So this kit is gonna have lots of fun stuff inside. You'll have 2 pieces of cardstock, pattern paper, and you can choose which side you want to show. I think that the candy stripes are nice because it's not quite as busy as the holly, but if you want to swap it around, you totally can. So one of these is going to actually make the box, and this is going to be the cover, the matchbox that goes around it. So we'll talk about how to assemble that together. You're also going to get the gingerbread house, which is stamped and die cut for you on kraft cardstock. And then there's also these cute little gingerbread people here. They are also on kraft cardstock, so it's already brown for you. What's nice about this project is there's really minimal coloring because you're using kraft cardstock, which is one of my favorite little tricks. You're also gonna have a candy cane and a wreath that you can color up and also glue on top of the house. You're also gonna get some little foamies. So these are foam die cuts of the gingerbread people, and you'll see that actually they have adhesive on the back side. So you can use that adhesive to glue your gingerbread people on top. You're also gonna have a little sentiment flag and also some twine and some ribbon. So let's go ahead and get started on this card. For this card, we're going to start with the coloring because we're going to use something called Nuvo drops, which there's different things like this. You could even use white puff paint, a lot of different products, but we're going to use this to create the icing effect, and it's going to take a while to dry. So I'm actually going to start with the coloring. So first we're going to color up these images with colored pencils, and once that's done, we'll come in and do the Nuvo drops. So I'll go ahead and speed through the coloring, and I'll see you in the next step. So now that I'm done coloring, I use colored pencils, but you can always use markers or something else that you like to color with. But now that I'm done, what I'm gonna do is get my Nuvo drops, and I'm gonna use this. It's like a puff paint to make this icing effect. So really simple to do, but makes a really big impact. So when you're doing this, it can actually help to have a piece of scrap paper underneath. It could get a little messy. And just go ahead and start applying this puff paint type material. And I'm just gently squeezing, just kind of as if I was coloring, adding this material. And it is a little thick, so it's going to take some time to dry, which is why I wanted to do it a little sooner in the process. But just kind of as if you're making icing on this gingerbread house. It's going to be really cute. Here comes Lucy. Lucy, it's not a good time. Well, my cat thought it would be fun to interrupt me. She just feels like she's being left out of the fun. And I'm going to set this aside in a place to dry safely away from the cat. Just wanted to add a little bit of colored pencil here, but I'm going to set that aside to dry. Now what I'm going to do is start attaching my little gingerbread people to the foam. So you will just match up the shapes and peel off the adhesive and attach them together. Thanks, Lucy. You can't see her, but she is walking on my desk. All right, so we got this one down. Adds a little pop of color. Next, this one goes to that guy. So peel off the paper. Just attach it. And the last one, peel it off and stick him on. That was super easy to do. And now it's time to start constructing the box. So the next part of this is to construct the matchbox itself. And let's start with this more of the square shaped piece. So this has a series of score marks. It might be a little harder to see in the video, but there are several score marks here. So what we're going to do is actually start by trimming the corner. So this is the interior rectangle that it makes. So we're going to snip from the corner to that interior box. Just like this. And we'll do that on all four corners. Now from here, we're going to go ahead and decide which side do we want to be the interior and the exterior. So I'm going to have this be the interior, and I'm going to fold on the first score line, and then I'm going to fold up again on the second score line and just make a good crease there. And I'm going to repeat that on each side. So folding on the score line and then folding again on the next one. So now that we've prepared the fold, go ahead and get them all folded up. Let's just start with two sides and see how this is coming up to form a wall. On the furthest score line down, go ahead and fold there and make that 90 degrees. So this is going to help make our box, and we'll repeat that on each side. Great, so this is starting to form the box. So now we're going to fold down on the top flap and fold it up. And we're going to do this a similar thing, but have this on the outside. Another trick that you can do is actually unfolding it, starting to fold this down, and then this piece will come around and wrap on either side of it. So that's the way I prefer to do it. It kind of locks the box by itself. So again, I have this folded. I'm going to press this down and it kind of forms this wrap around the box. So I don't even need glue for this part, which is really nice. So again, I have the long sides folded perpendicular back down here. I'm going to take this, fold it on that bottom score line, fold that top score line around, and wrap this tab around the other side of the box. So see how this creates a little wraparound. It creates this matchbox, and you can just kind of firm up the corners here. Make it nice and creased. You can always reinforce it with your bone folder. And if you want to add a little glue, you certainly can. So it's fine to add some glue, but I'm finding that it's going to hold by itself, which is really nice. And before I do anything else, I'm actually going to take a hole punch. I have my hole punch here, and I'm going to use a small punch. It doesn't really matter what size, but I'm just going to use a small one. And I'm going to go ahead and punch it in the center of one of these here on the short side. Now, the reason I'm doing that is because I want to tie my ribbon and my twine around it. So here is my ribbon and twine. I'm actually going to take my ribbon, fold it in half, and then I'm going to make a knot towards the bottom. So I'm going to go ahead and take the tails here, wrap it around, and create a knot and have it be just on the edge of this ribbon. So I have a nice big pull tab loop and a knot that's going to stop from coming out. So let's go ahead and take this loop, the big loop, and thread it through this hole punch. So the knot keeps it from coming all the way out. And then take this little candy cane stripe twine and just tie a bow around this ribbon. So I'm tying just one knot, and then I'm going to make a bow. Super cute. And if you need to trim the edges because they're uneven, go ahead and trim those. I'm liking the way it turned out, so I'm going to leave it. And now we're going to take this long strip, and there are score lines on this as well. So what we're going to do is start to fold on the score lines. And there should be 4 scores. And as you can see, it can fold together to make this rectangle. And what I like to do is make sure that it fits my box. I'm going to have the seam on the back of the box. I'm going to make sure it fits around my box nicely first, because I don't want it to be too tight and too hard to open and close. So go ahead and see how it fits around your box. And then I'm just going to add some adhesive on this strip here. And close it down. Open it up, and you should be able to slide your box right in. And it fits really nicely. Very happy with how that turned out. So all that's left to do is to glue your gingerbread house to the top of this matchbox. You could just glue it on flat, but I think it's more fun to give it a little more dimension by popping it on some foam tape. So you can use some foam tape or some foam squares to pop it up. All right, so this is finally dry. I did let it dry overnight just to make sure it was totally set. It can be really tempting to touch it and make sure it's dry, and if you do that, it might give a little texture that you're not expecting. So just try to be patient as it dries. I know it can be really hard. It was for me. But now that this is all ready to go, I have all my little gingerbread people. I have my little candy cane and wreath, and also the sentiment. It's time to start gluing it onto your matchbox. And what's really fun about this is you can use foam tape to pop it up and give it even more dimension. So we're going to try that today. If you want, you could just glue it down flat, but I find it's so much more fun when there's some dimension. So go ahead and as you're putting foam tape on, remember that you want to avoid putting any foam around the door and the little windows that open and close. So if you need to cut little skinny pieces, you can always trim it with your scissors to get them to be the right size that you want. If you have really skinny foam tape, now would be a great time to use it too. But just go ahead and start putting some foam around your house. And then you can get ready by putting it on your wreath. And for the candy cane, I think I'm actually going to glue that down flat. I guess you could do skinny strips, but I'm just going to glue my candy cane around here onto the house itself. And then you can also take your sentiment and put some foam, and I'm going to put it on the top right like this because there's enough space for it. And these guys you're just going to leave free because they're going to hang out inside the matchbox along with whatever gift card or whatever you want to put inside. So I'll go ahead and speed through this. All right, so now that I have placed the house where I want it, it can help to take the box out and then flatten it and just make sure it's pressed on real nice and flat. So you can always do that. Now I'm going to add the sentiment on top. And you can put it on the top right, the top left, wherever makes the most sense for you. Next I have the little wreath, and I'm going to put it over, let's see, last time I put it over the heart window, but I think I'm going to let that show, and I'm going to just actually put it up on the very top. I think that would be cute. And then we have the candy cane. I'm going to use a little bit of liquid glue and just go ahead and attach it flat to the house itself. So just little tiny dabs of glue here. If you get too much, sometimes I just kind of smooth it out with my finger so it doesn't get too blotchy. And then you can decide where do you want to put it. I'm going to kind of put it over here. And there you go. You have your sweet little matchbox. Just slides right in. You can put your little gingerbread people in. It's the perfect size for a gift card or like a small gift that you want to put inside. So I hope that you give this card for a try. It's super fun to make, really easy to do. And you can use the same design with different stamps and different papers and mix it up for birthday or whatever occasion you like. So thanks for joining me this time, and I'll see you in the next card series. Bye.